Milei administration in Argentina blocks journalist access to Casa Rosada. Press freedom advocates have warned of hostile rhetoric towards journalists and increasingly restrictive policies under Milei. The administration of Argentina's Javier Milei has restricted access to the presidential palace, the Casa Rosada, as part of an escalating feud with the country's journalists. Accredited journalists reportedly arrived at the Casa Rosada on Thursday and attempted to enter the building through fingerprint scanning as they usually would, but they were unable to pass the scan. As confusion hit the News Corps, the head of Argentina's Secretariat of Communication and Press issued a clarification that their press accreditation had not been revoked. The decision to remove the fingerprints of journalists accredited to the Casa Rosada was taken as a preventive measure in response to a complaint filed by the military household regarding illegal espionage, Secretary Javier Lanari wrote on social media. The sole objective is to guarantee national security. Lanari's post cites an incident wherein two journalists from the Argentinian channel TN were accused of secretly filming inside the government palace. After their report was broadcast, the Milei administration accused the journalists of endangering government security by showing parts of the Casa Rosada that were reportedly off-limits. On Wednesday, Milei himself took to social media to call the journalists repugnant trash. He then challenged other members of the news media to justify their actions. "I would love to see that filthy scum, the 95% who carry press credentials, come out and defend what these two criminals did," Milei wrote on X. Advertisement. Since then, the president has repeatedly reposted messages critical of the news media, often accompanied by the acronym NOLSALP or NOL$ALP. It stands for "We Don't Hate Journalists Enough." Someday, that filthy journalistic scum 95% will have to understand that they are not above the law. They abused legal precedent. It does not come without a price, Milei added in one of his posts on Thursday, as he continued to slam the news media. This week's actions are the latest in a series of policy changes under Milei designed to tighten restrictions on journalists. Last year, for instance, his government capped entry to certain rooms in the Casa Rosada and placed other areas out of bounds. Critics say the policies are part of a wider broadside against journalism in Argentina. The media advocacy group Reporters Without Borders (RSF) has said that, since Milei took office in 2023, the country has seen a sharp decline in press freedom, and PAN International, an organization for writers, warned last year of a serious deterioration in free speech rights. It pointed to legislation that further restricted which government documents could be made public and to Milei's dismantling of public media, as well as the installation of a mute button to silence journalists during news conferences. Already, the decision to bar journalists from entry into the Casa Rosada has faced pushback, including from Argentinian lawmakers. Marcelo Pagano, a former journalist turned deputy in Argentina's legislature, announced on Thursday that she had filed a criminal complaint against Milei. "The Casa Rosada is not private property," Pagano wrote in a statement. Still less does a head of state, or his henchmen officials, have the authority to decide whether the press may access the building. She called Thursday's incident an unprecedented occurrence since the return of democracy in Argentina in 1983. Prohibiting journalists from exercising their freedom of expression is the first step towards silencing any dissenting voice, a situation that we in Argentina have experienced during our country's darkest moments, she added. They will not silence U.S.